Mic check, mic check. Could have one in the chat. Hammer was you. Jesse? Night. Talk a little bit about cuffing C. Save your community, black man. But tonight we're gonna do a little of comparison. One. How about now? I got it. We good. We good. Good. Awesome, bro. Appreciate you, mature. So yes, tonight as cuffing C, I'll know that. We're gonna explore a little bit a math. A whole lot more. We might do 2 math. But for now, we're just going to prelude. Talk about the dating bit. Here. How about now? Mic check, mic check, mic check. Says the mic, place the mic closer. So it looks like I got good volume. I don't got any funky filters on anything. Hey, I'm glad we're starting this way. That's what it's for. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, we don't got any funky filters or anything on. It should be good. I don't know. Maybe YouTube is tripping. All right. At any rate, folks, let's get this show started. And since it's a late night, we're going to start off with some music videos. I think you'll appreciate this. All right, let's go.
I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship. I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship.
Why y'all be thinking with y'all dicks?
Empty your clip. 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 I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship. I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship.
Why y'all be thinking with y'all dicks?
My shit.
Empty your clip.
Baby, if I'm tired, he can get it. After work, he can get it. After dinner, he can get it. In the morning, he can get it. Before the gym, he can get it. That's my man, so he can get it. Before church, he can get it. After church, he can get it. Thank you, Lord, he can get it. If I'm tired, he can get it. After work, he can get it. After dinner, he can get it. He can get it. He can get it. In the morning, he can get it. Before the gym, he can get it. That's my man. That's my man. That's my man. He can get it. Before church, he can get it. Thank you, Lord, he can get it. In the shower, he can get it. In the shower, he can get it. Date night, he can get it. Date night too, he can get it. When I'm irritated, he can get it.
Wait, this my
He
shit.
can get it. Hell yeah. 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 Cause if he can get it, that means I'm getting it. If I'm tired, he can get it. After work, he can get it. After dinner, he can get it. He can get it. He can get it. In the morning, he can get it. Before the gym, he can get it. That's my man. That's my man. That's my man. He can get it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Video games, video games, video games. I think a lot of us out here have played them to some degree. As a child, I started off reading books before I had exposure to video games. Then around the age of 8, that would be 1983 for you young folks out there, I got my first computer. And that's when things changed. My imagination ran wild. I learned all kinds of ways to imagine worlds and myself in the role of characters that I had never expected to experience ever before. As time moved on and as graphics improved, the adventures grew. My characters gained skills and equipment based on the game I played. I developed a love for immersing myself in making the best character I possibly could. In this world of dating, the digital world has taken over with dating apps and the way in which people are interacting. We know this. This is all common knowledge. But what we're left with this fast-paced, do anything you want lifestyle is recalcitrance, hubris, entitlement, pride, ego, ignorance, and absolutely zero empathy. And that's on both sides, unfortunately. As we look out upon this dating landscape, it's a hot mess out here, and everybody's going about it in the wrong way. What's up, everybody? Sakafet, Sakafet. Welcome to the show. I want to welcome everybody in this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. It's your boy C.I.P. Out here tonight, we have a hell of a crowd. I want to welcome all of you. We got Janesta, mature gamer, a girl from Texas. I seen Mixed Chick out here, I do believe. Yes, sis, I see you out there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit that like and subscribe if you are new. Messy, that's right. Have y'all hit that like button? I appreciate y'all so much. Derek Gaines, how are you, bro? How's that weather in Cincy, bro? We had about 6 or 7 inches. No, did he? We had about 6 or 7 inches up here. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. A lot of blowy, drifty snow. And my boy, Mature Gamer, I appreciate you, homie. 100%. Don't know what the heck was going on, why I was losing sync, but I think we are good now. All right. So let's see here. So tonight is just a prelude to the Black Home Math series I'm gonna run. Maybe 2, maybe 1, we'll see. But it's all about dating, and I'm trying to stay away from too much of the topic because your boy Culture's in a new place this year, y'all. Your boy Culture's got a crush, and your boy Culture is crushing on somebody. That's right. Boy Culture may be off the market very, very soon. Stay tuned on that. But being in a different place, we're humans. We know we look at life in a new way. So I want to examine what's going wrong and what I experienced that was wrong and what we see out here today. So our 2 reacts we got this evening. We're only gonna do 2. I know everybody's got to get to bed and get to work in the morning. And again, this is a prelude, so I'm not going to keep everyone's attention too much. But we're going to do 1 react. I think y'all may have seen it. You may not have. Recently, Melissa Ford blamed God for where she is in her dating career. And then we have the oh so famous home math. Yes, home math, y'all. We are going to cap out tonight's episode with some home math. And we're going to talk about one of the biggest issues in the dating realm, which is these new terms that, forgive me for saying so, all these labels that came about with the millennial generation. All right, all these labels that have popped up. So let's take a look at that as well. All right, first up, we got our friend of the show, Krisha Zed. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. Gents, I think you may know the kind of content he has. It is male-related content. It's very balanced in his approach. And if you are not a fan of coffee, you will not enjoy it because it's all about taking a sip of that coffee and snapping back to reality. So we'll start off with Krisha and Melissa Ford blaming God for her SW career, or her dating life. So let's go.
It is not a woman. I mean it, because there is no way that a woman would put us through everything that we have to go through just to.
Let me know if you guys are catching it echo at all, or if it's
so now
good to
we're
go.
coming after God. This is a very feminist way.
How's the audio? You guys catching audio? Everything sound good?
Way of looking at God, by the way. Most
Awesome.
feminist
Thank you.
women and modern women who really are like claim the independent feminist flag, they really don't like the concept of a father. They don't like the concept of a God who is a father. The way the Bible writes it, they're upset about it. They don't like that the Bible talks about how a woman is supposed to submit to a man. All that, right? They're against it, don't like it. And the question here is, when does life work the best for women? When they follow those standards, or
And fair use,
when they
fair
do
use to
things
Krisha.
their way with no regrets? I'll let you answer that question. That's it. Let's keep this.
Or our fairy tale ending. The choices that I ended up not making, pursuit of marriage and kids and that sort of thing, it wouldn't have cost me anything by way of, disapproval of family. My mother was raised Catholic. She was a day girl in a convent. Her parents were from the Eastern European bloc. She lived in Europe until she was 15 years old when her family immigrated to Canada.
Tether gang
and
gang.
her mother died shortly after they had immigrated. My mother was 15, almost 16 years old. And my mother ended up meeting my godmother in the same high school, in the same grade as I met my best friend, but 30 years apart, which is so cute and so funny. And when they met, they're both from the old country, and they'd both been raised Catholic. they both said to each other, let's make a pact. If we ever have female children, we're not going to raise them Catholic. There's something about Catholicism that makes women feel like they're second-class citizens, like they are there for that marriage is a sacrament, and it's a holy sacrament, and you are there to obey your husband without any, consideration as to what you may need, what you may feel, what you may want. And they had seen their mothers and their grandmothers and their aunts live lives that did not belong to them, and they decided that that was not the lives that they were going to give their female children.
That is disingenuous. And I'm not here to talk about any particular religion in specific, but if you're basing this off biblical principles, then yes. If you value what the Bible says, which, by the way, they also don't want you to do that. You want to say things you're not supposed to say. You're not supposed to say that the biblical way of approaching marriage is right, if you value that.
Yeah, I was born, raised, baptized Catholic as well, Chrissy.
You're allowed to live your life any way and which way you want. God doesn't force any of us to adhere to any of his counsel instructions through the Bible. But it is disingenuous to paint a biblical principle of a woman submitting to her husband like she's not loved in that process. The Bible specifically says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loves the church. And you should love your wife very much so. She should also realize that she needs to obey the commandment of submission. Both of those are important. And yes, we can't forget men submitting to God. Now, for most modern women, they don't like that. They don't like the Bible. They don't like the idea that a woman is a helpmate. They want to be the main characters. They want to, it's kind of like, I've used this example before, right? It's kind of like how the serpent in the biblical story of Eve convinced the woman that she could be like God. The only difference now is you can be a man. That's the deception. How can you be a man? It's not eat the fruit. The fruit now doesn't represent the fruit on the tree. The fruit now represents a degree. It represents, I pay my own bills, right? I do all this stuff all by myself.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
After it's all said and done, is did you have a good time? This is general. This is general. No, I'm not talking about her. But she's a part of that. That's the question. Did you have a good time? And hey, if you can look back and like Melissa Ford and say, no regrets, I don't regret a single thing. And you tell a story that sounds like a nightmare.
And this is these choices, right? The choose your own adventure books that I read as a kid, thinking about the choices that you have to make as an adult. She wants to blame God for her choices.
To me, which makes me feel bad for her or any woman who's been through this.
But of course, they have a good time. It's all momentary.
As well. But I just had to say that about the Bible in specific, and God, who she was upset represents a father and a more masculine figure, it sounded like.
So my mother had me, and my godmother Renata had a daughter named Laura, and we were not raised religious at all. To the point where I literally told my mom, I was like, can I go to Catholic school? She was like, no.
Let me say this to give her some grace here and give her a point that she's very much making, in a sense, is religion can definitely get insane and crazy. Right? And that happens when people now detach themselves from principles that I talked about earlier, like basic principles like how you treat others, love, so on and so forth. It has its dark parts, just like everything else. You can be very patriotic, but then that patriotism can also go too far to the right. You can be very passionate about something. Now, when that passion puts you in a position where you're neglecting the people you love, your family, and they never see you, so on and so forth, whatever it is, then that becomes, toxic.
Right.
I really just wanted to go because I liked the uniforms and I didn't want to look for something to wear every single day. But my mother was steadfast.
Hey, yo, we'll continue this in just a second. Shout out Twin. What's up, Bronx? How you doing, bro? Nice to see you this evening. Josh, what's good? What's good? Nice to see you as well. Curly hair, did I see you earlier, hun? Did I shout you out? If not, shout out, sis. So glad to see you out there. And of course, Trin, I shouted you out, popped you up here in on screen. FDNHT family. We got besties, we got FDNHT, and of course we got Team C.I.P over here. I'm loving it. All right, everybody, back to it.
That no, any curiosity that you have with religion, you can go and seek that out on your own. But I'm not going to hold you to, an indoctrination that doesn't really belong to you. You make your own choices. And so when it came to checking boxes, my mom had already decided what my daughter's life is for her to live. And I'm lucky in that way. Very, very lucky in that way. My mom gave me suggestions and she made observations, but they were always so subtle. And she always knew that I was going to do whatever I wanted to do, however I wanted to do it. And that was the end of the story. I was a very strong-willed child.
Notice she doesn't mention her father in the home.
Strong-willed teenager, strong-willed young lady, strong-willed adult woman. So I was never subject to those checked boxes, but I found myself in conversation over the years with many, many women that felt that pressure. And when it comes to those checked boxes, as it relates to marriage, I'm not sure if the vast majority of us go looking for these as factors in why we choose somebody. I think a lot of the times, as long as he's a good provider, that's the biggest check mark. Does he look good? Is he presentable? Do we have some things in common?
Girl, why aren't you married? Why aren't you married? What the hell is really going on here? Damn it, man. V-Ben Israel, bro, welcome to the show. So glad to see you here. And yeah, she is absolutely word vomiting messy. You are absolutely correct. I'm about to 2.5 this lady and fast forward this. Put her on 1.5 fast forward speed. Y'all, oh my God, this is crazy. So shout out to Miss 87, a girl from Texas. That's right, Cash App incoming.
More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill.
Hey, appreciate you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who has supported the show over the past few months. We are on an extreme path to success out here, y'all. Last year was my angsty year. I was condemning the very name of YouTube. Then I hit that 350 subscribers. Go watch the 350 subscriber short. Thank you to y'all who are out here and have subscribed. And now it's looking up. We got a lot of support out here for Team C.I.P. I am loving y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. And I thank the good people of Nepal. You are one hell of a leader, because you, the keen, the cunningness, the instinct. The instinct is brilliant. And you don't even know what you did, but you're brilliant anyway, because the brilliance is the best brilliance is brilliance born not from someone ignorant.
Thank you, y'all. And here y'all go again. I want to say what's up to Chrissy, and I want to say what's up to Trin. Thank y'all so much for the cash apps.
More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill.
Hey, that's what's up. Let's go. All right, y'all.
Does he plan on being a good provider? Do we both want kids? Do we both want to get married? These are the things that people ask themselves, and this is what helps them make their decision. But they find out years into the marriage that it takes so much more. to make a marriage successful than just those things. One of the main things that I think is missing,
what is it,
from a lot of people deciding on getting married is how much of a friendship have you built with this person? Because like outlasts love 1,000% of the time.
Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure book. And if you choose not to be in tune to the person who you are linking up with, that's on you. And you get what you get out of that relationship. Home Math is going to show us one of his new diagrams. Everybody, when we get there, we'll talk about it. But y'all need to go subscribe to his Patreon and help a brother out. But yeah, Home Math is going to show us these decision points we have in our relationships and where we need to either get off the pot or shit. We need to make choices. Men and women, we have to make choices. We have to communicate with that person and start off as friends, especially if you're trying to plan something for the future and you're starting off as friends first, because once them kids are introduced into the equation, them little bastards are going to wreak havoc on what you and your lady got. So it's all about building that communication first.
Through the course of my career.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point, right? And she's probably realized this a bit far too late. Like does outlast love, but more, commitment to values and shared values there too. I thought she was...
Yeah, commitment to shared values. That's what starts off a good basis.
I was going to say love.
A good foundation.
In fact, that's something that I actually had to learn later than I probably would have liked. And being married now, I see that more and more. I was under the assumption for a little bit that you couldn't have a friendship with your wife. I think I've made maybe like a couple of videos that talked about don't treat your wife like she's your friend. And I think the reason why I've heard men who are older than me counsel in that way, and I also believed that personally, the purpose there is that someone can start mixing up you and confusing you for just a friend. And as a man, you lose that respect. But there's a book, and it's written by the Gottmans. Let's see if I can find it. How to Make Marriage Work, I think it's called. If you're soon to be married, engaged, that's a book I would suggest. Definitely helps. It's called
How to Make Marriage Work.
Oh, here it is. The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work.
Okay, there we go.
John.
The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, a practical guide from the country's foremost relationship expert. Shout out Messi, Michon, and Trin. Earlier, we were told by Joy that we need to read as men. That's what we need to do to improve ourselves, gentlemen. So based on that, gentlemen, go pick up this book as you are saving your community, gentlemen. SYCBM, gentlemen. We are out here doing this and we are cuffing them up this year. So that's right. Yes, by Joy. Joy told us, gentlemen, that we are to be reading The 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work by John M. Gotham, PhD, gentlemen. Get on it.
And in that book, they do a lot of extensive studies with couples who have all types of different dynamics when it comes to how they communicate, when it comes to how they argue and how they fight. And they found out that it wasn't really how couples really fought. You had couples who didn't fight that much, but still didn't last long in marriage. You had couples who did go back and forth often. But the one thing they realized is these couples that lasted didn't grow apart over time.
Right.
Sure. You can interject right now and say something off the wall like, you can't control another person. It could fail at any time. Yes. Anything can happen at any time. Right. But if you're somebody who values marriage, then it is in your best interest to then think, how can I make this a more pleasant situation? How can I set myself up for success as much as possible, seeing as how it's one of the most risky things you can be doing in today's society? And then on top of that, you go over to fathershaverights.com and get yourself the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement that was put together by some renowned top attorneys.
Hold on, pause.
Rights.com and get yourself now and say something off the wall like, you can't control another person. It could fail at any time. Yes. Anything can happen at any time. Right. But if you're somebody who values marriage, then it is in your best interest to then think, how can I make this a more pleasant situation?
Yes.
How can I set myself up for success as much as possible, seeing as how it's one of the most risky things you can be doing in today's society? And then on top of that, you go over to fathershaverights.com and get yourself
fathershaverights.com, gentlemen. fathershaverights.com. Shout out. Okay, so we have the lead attorney and Krisha Zed and Mr. James Sexton, family law attorney, all teaming up. So, gentlemen, check it out. Get yourselves that prenup. I'm not saying without, I'm saying without saying that's in my future, a prenup. And it's because it's amicable for both parties. It's the real world. It's the new age. It's what we have to face. Invest in yourself and protect yourself, gents. All right. Shout out these gentlemen. Good God, they're doing things for us out here, bros. Get on it. Get on it.
The number one guide to drafting
That's right,
a solid
Messi.
and legally binding prenuptial
Get that
agreement.
prenup.
That was put together by some renowned top attorneys, hosted by yours truly, Trisha Zed. Get it for free with offer code REVIEW. Go check that out. Then you want to look at ways you can make the marriage last as long as humanly possible, which is interesting. James Sexton, who's one of the attorneys at fathershaverights.com, who introduces the legal information, he says marriage is one of the only things we hope ends in death, right? So you hope and you wish, I hope I die with this person.
Right.
But friendship is important in the sense that people usually grow apart because they don't talk and they don't grow with each other. And so in today's busy culture, it's really easy for that to happen. And it's important to go out of your way to make sure that you're checking in with your significant other. You have to intentionally do this.
Right.
You have to ask the person where their mind's at, how things are going. Because if you don't,
Communication piece.
then someone's mind could be in a whole different place. And finally, the moment you realize that things are effed up is within a therapy session, and people usually say, at that point, it's way too late. Or, God forbid, she goes on TikTok and she's telling everybody what she's really thinking, like these chicks are doing today. So, yes, friendship is important. And yes, you can maintain friendship without losing respect.
And just life in general. I have spoken to so many successfully married couples, and success means that they still like each other decades later. That's success. They still wake up and want to participate in this partnership. That is success. And that's what they say, that like is more substantial than love.
Okay.
And looking back on my relationships, I realized that like was not high on my list of priorities. And that's probably the reason for failures. So before I sign off.
All right, so that's everything. I think I've said everything I could pretty much say. I'll say this also.
That's it. That's all he's
If you're
going to say.
somebody who looks at this, and particularly if you're a chick who's like, I don't mind this. In fact, I think this is great. I don't mind replicating this in my own life, which she's gone through in her experiences. And I don't mind claiming childless cat lady. And in the end, I'm fine with it. Then go have a blast. I think that's your prerogative. You're definitely allowed to decide your own fate. I don't have a problem with people who know that I think it's great. I think it's better that people know they don't want families than end up with a child and then really can't take care of that child properly and treat that child like they somehow did them wrong. Right? That's what I think of when I look at this. A lot in here that I was very honest with. Overall, I wish her the best, and I hope she finds peace, and her podcast will take off because there are plenty of women out there with the exact same experience and story. Listen, guys, of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you all for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Remember, fathers have rights.
FathersHaveRights.com, gentlemen. Get that prenup. Shout out to Krisha Zed, y'all. Another hit from him. And you know, in reflecting on this, I have to use God in the universal term here, right? We don't want to point a finger at any one man-made religion, but God in the grand scheme of things, as I believe, but that is once again my own opinion. So everyone, please check out Krisha Zed. Check out what he's got going on here. As always, he's a friend of the show. Next up, our boy, Math De La Ho. Our boy Ho Math. Go subscribe to Ho Math. Ho Math keeps it real. He is a math genius dude who has gone down the road of exploring relationships and using his intelligence, which is a lot more than mine. I'm sure he's got a doctorate out there or some kind of degree bigger than mine. He's got more brains, and he's going to help us learn about brains. Pause. Brains. He's got more intelligence, and he's going to help us diagnose these dating failures that we are going through here. Now, what y'all out here talking about? What's good, Knots? How you doing, brother? Glad to see you. Lead up in here smelling the bottoms of bottles. Oh man, let's see. And I think Josh Watson, Josh, bro, one love, man. Big up to you.
More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill.
All right. Let's go. Okay. Second here. Josh, I appreciate you, bro. To everyone this evening who has supported the show. And if you are new to the crowd, I do suggest you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more great content. Share me out, folks. All right, here we go with lingo. So, title here is How Your Words Are Making Your Life Suck. How your interpretation of the vocabulary you're using is fucking y'all up in this dating world. All these terms and words are, I mean, in a lot of cases, situationship is basically just another word for being a whore. Doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, you're just being a whore. You ain't in nothing dedicated, just getting the benefits out of it. So we're going to look at what Home Math has to say about this evening, and we're going to use this as our reference point for Black Home Math as we get into the Black Home Math series. So enjoy.
Situationship. What a cute word for something so harmful. The girl in this video is smart enough to see that, but not grown up enough to fix it. Let's see if we can help.
The lingo of hookup culture and the way that we've managed to label things like situationship, breadcrumbing, roster dating, friends with benefits, etc., etc. It is merely a woman's attempt to justify and normalize the way that men dehumanize us in sexual and intimate romantic relationships so that we don't have to feel as powerless as we truly are to their casual acts of cruelty.
Okay, first of all, casual acts of cruelty sounds like
her word salad that she just spewed. We're going to watch this at regular speed too. We're not going to speed this one up because there's a lot of concepts here to grasp. But that terminology, you guys really got to pay attention to this. And he's gonna explain it as we go along. I'm gonna let him cook, but it's just the way that these concepts are presented by these people who are traumatized on TikTok.
It is merely a woman's attempt to justify and normalize the way that men dehumanize us in sexual and intimate romantic relationships so that we don't have to feel as powerless as we truly are to their casual acts of cruelty.
Okay, first of all, casual acts of cruelty sounds like a 90s crime drama starring Tom Cruise. Second of all, this girl is more right than she is wrong, but when she's wrong, she's doing it in the same way that she's complaining about, like this bear attacking its own reflection. Get out of here, bear. This is no place for bears. And that's not going to fix the situationship problem. It's not going to make her any more likely to end up over here. In fact, it's going to make things worse. The more that we use language to blame each other, the less we're going to like each other and the more situationships you're going to get. When you say things like this, especially on TikTok where everyone can see it, it makes us think twice about you. It takes a point or two off your value because now we're worried about what you're gonna do. So you end up in another situationship and then you go on TikTok and say something angry and then we hear it and we are less likely to commit. And then another girl gets into a situationship and then she says something angry on TikTok, which makes men less likely to commit, which makes you more angry. It's a downward spiral. We live in a time where nobody knows what the rules are anymore, so people just do what they feel like because everyone gets really upset if you say how things work. And that's what Trashionista is... it's a good name. That's what Trashionista is right about. It's all in the lingo. The way that we talk about these things normalizes them. What she's wrong about is that men do this on purpose. We are just as confused as you. This video is more for the girls than usual. I'm still going to make fun of them for the guys, something for everyone. But if you are a woman who is tired of situationships ending up like this, I'm going to show you how to avoid them. Because we don't want this ending up in the dating pool anyway. And you might not like the answer, because it's basically just don't do this to guys who respond like this. You can't always get what you want. You have to recognize when you're here and stop trying to climb out. It's easy to move down, hard to move up. And I will, of course, go into greater detail.
Absolutely.
But first, if you want to know how dating is working out in places like South Korea, it's not looking good, and why we might be next, and what that's gonna look like, you can read about it all on Ground News, today's sponsor. Ground News shows you every...
I'm so happy Bro is sponsored. He's come a long way. Shout out Homath. Bro has come a long way. We're gonna watch the commercial just cause.
Side of every story.
Also, I use Flipboard as a news aggregate reader, so I might switch over to Ground. Who knows? I do use an aggregate like this, so I highly recommend you do that. That way you get impartial news.
Where they're coming from. You can see who's reporting and where their loyalties are, so you know who you're listening to. This South Korea story is covered by 74 sources, and you can easily see they lean right. This CNN article says immigration is helping with our aging population, but the right-leaning Straits Times talks about South Korea replacing its own population. Ground News can show you this bias from a bird's-eye view and even tell you who the sources are owned by. Click Discover, and you can follow your favorite topics. I'm gonna find South Korea. I'm worried about them. And when you're done, you have a personalized news feed. And since your feed has your bias, Ground News has Blind Spot to show you what you're missing. Go to ground.news/HM and see more angles on every issue. My link saves you 40% on the Unlimited Access Vantage plan. That's ground.news/HM. Now let's get back to Trashinista's description of how she causes her own problems. I'm going to use her monologue to show how she's right, how she's wrong, why we're in this mess, I'll clean this up, and what we can do about it by noticing and changing our lingo. Basically, Trashinista can't get her feelings validated because of the way that we use language, so she uses language to invalidate other people's feelings. Let's listen.
The lingo of hookup culture, situationship, breadcrumbing, roster dating, friends with benefits is merely a woman's attempt to justify the way that men dehumanize us so that we don't have to feel as powerless to their casual acts of cruelty.
Pretty dramatic, but I get it. These things are not good, and these words make them sound normal. It's the fellow kids effect. Cool stuff can make bad stuff look cool. And these words make you look cool, but they mean bad things. This one means juggling partners. This one means emotional manipulation. And these two are just when one person is in love and the other one is just getting laid. And most people don't like these things. Here's an example.
Is he my boyfriend? No. Have I slept in his childhood bed? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Does his mom love me? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Do I see him 4 times a week? Yes. Does he keep a toothbrush here? Yes. Is he here right now? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Am I his girlfriend? Yes. Am I okay?
Sydney looks upset, and she should be. She's accepted a situation she doesn't like because it was normalized through language, which Trashinista calls out and then does herself.
We have created these labels to better understand the degradation men enact on us in these relationships so that we can distance ourselves from the pain of betrayal that we feel.
Let's stop right there. These things happen sometimes, but I don't believe they're happening here. No situationship I've ever been involved in or heard about had any degradation or betrayal in it, and I never enacted anything on anyone. They agreed to it. Some of them told me later that they felt pain because the relationship didn't go where they wanted it to. That's why I tried to stop having them. So this lingo works and this doesn't. Think of it this way. This is telling us we're bad, and this is telling us how we made you feel. Much easier to work with. Let's hear some more.
Situationships typically spawn from maybe you went out on 3 to 4 dates, you thought things were going really well, and then you kind of hang out, and then you just continuously hanging out, and then he turns to you and he says, oh, I can't really commit right now.
Hang on, a minute ago you said you had degradation and betrayal enacted upon you, but here it sounds like you didn't even ask this guy if he liked you before expecting commitment. How does that work?
In your mind, you're thinking his feelings went away. He had feelings for me at one point, he didn't. I thought we were on the same page.
There's that thinking without talking again.
He, on his end, knew what the relationship was going to be from the beginning.
I agree that's very likely, but why did you never ask? That's how you know what people are thinking. You ask.
See, that goes to that communication piece. You have to be friends and have the intentions fully vetted out what you're going to do with this relationship. If y'all just going to hump and hunch and just get that uchi wali, if that's all it's about, say it's all about the uchi wali and mean it. Don't think that because you get in a uchi wali, shit's going to go in another direction. Don't become a simp and be up in her DMs every single day after you got the uchi wali and she said, peace. She said, I'm done. You out. And just like the ladies, don't be trying to love bomb and chase this dude down and thinking that you the only one he uchi wali in. He got the rest of the block, bro is knocking the bricks off. Like, stop. Communicate. Y'all got to communicate. Shout out Killer. How you doing, cuzzo? Glad to see you this evening. We got V-Ben Israel in the building as well. Shout out to y'all. EJ, what's good, bro? Glad to see you. Y'all are modded up now, so please, by all means, drop your channels. Feel free. And I do believe if you hit exclamation point invasion, slam invasion in the chat, it should, Nightbot should be behaving itself. It should auto drop your channel. So feel free, folks. And everybody out there, Cloud Watchers, Team Replay, please like, subscribe, and share the channel out. I really appreciate it, y'all. Really appreciate it. Got to do some clean up. Show sponsor. Forgive me. Who is SS? Show sponsor. My goodness, I love you to death. Thank you all so much.
More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill.
Mixed Chick, I really appreciate you. You are the show sponsor of the evening. Thank you. And that was with, ladies and gentlemen, that's a $50 Cash App drop. Again, thank you, Mixed Chick. Let's go.
More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill.
Really appreciate it, hun. Thank you so much. All right, let's go.
And in a man's twisted way of thinking, he thought respect for you would be to pretend like he was on the same page in the relationship.
How do you know he was pretending if you never talked about what page you were on? Maybe he thought you were pretending to want a situationship. Some girls do, and we don't know who's who until you tell us. Angry TikTok girls who say counterproductive things seem to believe that guys know what's going on all the time, and that's not true. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody has their own ideas about what relationships are and how they work, and if you try to say how relationships should work because of the ways that people are, you get yelled at. It's like the Tower of Babel. No one speaks the same language, and everyone's trying to do a different thing. Guys in today's dating market have to be careful not to give out too much investment too fast because it gives you the ick, while also being sure to give the right investment to the right girl at the right time without knowing what the right investment is or who the right girl is or what the right time is. It's a very confusing landscape, and it kind of feels like this. A lot of guys even have experiences like this. She says she wants a relationship, then you give it, and she doesn't like it. This graph I made went over really well. A lot of guys agree this is how
Okay, now watch this one, you guys.
How it works. So if she asks for investment or commitment and you give it to her, then you both start out really happy to be in the relationship, but sometimes she gets bored really quickly, and by the time we notice, she's already found a new guy. That's why a lot of guys are adopting this investment pattern. We keep it real situationshipy. We give medium investment, and you can either be here or not be here as you please. And when you're not here, someone else will be.
Girl is.
It's a mess out there. So if you don't want to end up here again, you can't keep going on maybe 3 or 4 dates and think you're kinda hanging out before you ask what he wants. Remember when I said I would clean this up? Well, I did. Kind of. My printer broke, then I fixed it and it got worse. We'll just do this for now. This is the situationship evasion chart of it.
This poor man. He said my printer broke. Hey, yo, EJ, I want to send a shout out to you as well, bro. Let's go. Let's
More
go.
money, yeah. More money, more dollar bill. More money, yeah, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you. And yes, absolute 87. Absolutely. Shit or get off the pot and communicate. Let's let the other person know what your intentions are.
Available on Patreon. It is a map of how dating used to work, or how we wish it did, and how dating works now if you make good choices or bad ones. Notice how the bad choices are very messy.
Okay, so now we're getting into the choices, the choose your own adventure, the quest that you have to go on to be successful in dating. So this is the part that, this is the meat of the subject. No diddy.
Might feel familiar. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, I'll let you do that on your own, but the point is, dating just isn't this simple anymore, and maybe it never was. You cannot just date whoever shows up in your life and expect them to have the same ideas as you, and then expect for dating to go in a particular direction. It just doesn't work that way. We don't have rules anymore, remember? That's this. And also, we're meeting people in ways that we never have before. So if you just start dating someone and get attached before you talk about what you want, the green arrows are the smart choices, then you just end up in this mess. And that can have a lot of bad endings, like you find out something bad, or someone gets bored and leaves, or worst of all, you never get what you're looking for, and you just stick around forever. Let's go over it from the beginning. First, you realize that you could be dating anyone from anywhere who could believe anything. Now, the smart move is, once you find somebody, you follow this green line, you talk about what you want, you get him to agree, and then you get him to prove that he intends to follow through before you get attached. The wrong move, let's just get back there, is to just jump straight into casual dating, get attached without talking about anything, and then either wait for him to read your mind, or do the what are we thing, which does not guarantee good results. It seems to me like...
Yeah, okay, so a snippet from Culture's life. I went anyone from anywhere. I went into the mystery circus and said to hell with dating in America, then changed my tune, went the green path up to the talk, and pretty much your boy Culture is getting into that, talking and investment and building. So I'm up here in the green, y'all. Absolutely. That's where we should be. If you're trying to build something, your boy ain't trying to go out alone, trying to save the community out here.
Like what happened to you was you met a guy, you didn't check on what he believed, you jumped into dating, you hung out a while, and then you said, where is this going? And then he said, it's going right here, and you didn't like that.
Men dehumanize us so that we don't have to feel as powerless to their casual acts of cruelty.
It's not cruel to just have a casual relationship. It's cruel to lie, but it doesn't sound like he did. It sounds like he just didn't know that you wanted to end up here. You gotta remember, bad stuff happens to us too. This is no fun. We even get put here sometimes. I remember the girl from this video in particular. I met her on the internet. We didn't talk about the future. We hung out for about 3 months and I said, is this going anywhere? And she said, I'm not ready. No one knows what anyone's thinking until we talk about it. And you can't know who's lying if they don't prove it. So you're not powerless. You can choose not to get attached until after you know you can trust someone.
You see how the wordplay is being worked there, y'all? So she's twisting all these words that we're the ones that are dehumanizing them, and that it's the man bad, when there's choice involved. These women choose the people they lay with. They choose them. They say yes.
Lying if they don't prove it. So you're not powerless. You can choose not to get attached until after you know you can trust someone. So let's go through the rest of this video and grade it, and then I'll sum it all up at the end.
His twisted idea of respect for you was to pretend like he liked you.
You should look for respect, but it's not disrespectful to not read your mind. And just because the relationship doesn't go from here to here doesn't mean we're pretending to like you. I've had a lot of this kind of relationship, and I usually cared about them. If I didn't care about them, they'd have been down here. I just didn't know they wanted it to go this direction. And I also didn't know that it would hurt their feelings to not get there. So that isn't twisted, it's naive, and you can end that by talking about it.
So now you're in a situationship because you feel bad for him. He's now painted this picture where he's like, oh, I just can't commit right now.
That's a good impression, but this is not a good reason to stick around when you could leave.
He doesn't want to have to do any of the labor that's required to do in a relationship.
Exactly. At least not with you, not right now. You can't make people want to do things.
And also, too, what's the point in doing stuff for someone if you're getting the milk for free? If you're getting it for free, why buy the cow? Why give her a ring if you're getting in between for free? Why?
You can
giving
only
it up.
Check and see if they want to do them first.
Because the other portion of being in a situationship is the fact that they sort of trap you into being on their terms.
Did he really trap you? What, are you locked in his basement? Blink twice if you're locked in his basement.
And instead of talking about what's going on, like instead of saying like, oh, well, I thought, I had this expectation for the relationship, we talk about it in forms of labels.
Yes, exactly. These words normalize those things so you don't have to agree to them.
Hey, y'all. How you doing, sis? It's good to see you tonight. And you know what? Nobody should do that. Nobody should do that. Sis, are you modded up? Yeah, you're modded up. So be sure to drop your link in the chat so folks can see you and get out there and support you as well. Thank you for stopping by, sis.
And therefore remove ourselves from the obvious corrupt and abhorrent behavior that the man is exhibiting.
Damn it, you were so close. You would have had it if you didn't try to frame it as everyone's fault but my own.
We use it to remove ourselves from the fact that that man has one way or another coerced you into a situation that you didn't sign up for and you still are not signing up for. You're kind of trapped in.
I ran out of room. Is there some reason you can't break up with the guy? Did you have to start seeing him?
Right.
Where is the trap? Have you considered that maybe you are the trap? Maybe he didn't want to get serious. And do you know what the word coerced means? Seriously, call if you need help.
So then what do? You go to your friends and you say, situationship this, situationship that. And instead of analyzing his behavior, now you're analyzing your behavior. And you can't hold him accountable for the obvious lying, manipulation, and coercion because there's a word for it. Situationship.
This is why I think Trashionista is mostly right. The whole point of her video is the way we talk about these things makes them seem like not a big deal, even if they feel like a big deal. In fact, she's so right about how language shapes culture, she doesn't even see how her own language makes her feel entitled to a good result when she doesn't do anything to guarantee it.
And typically, I sort of find out that I'm in a situationship. I don't ever know that I'm in one.
Come on. So she doesn't even set any expectations for herself. Where's that? Where did 87? You already said it. Zero accountability. She takes no accountability for the choices she's making. How can she laugh at that? Fucking stupid.
You could start assuming you are until he proves otherwise.
And then I'm like, oh. And for me, sleeping with somebody requires a great deal of trust. And they were pretending that I could trust them.
Oh, you don't have a father. Okay, let me just fill in for your missing dad.
Whoops. Oops.
It's a bad idea to trust horny guys. Father's Day's June 15th. I like dark chocolate.
But I'm not
Father's Day's June 15th. I like electronics.
Not allowed to act like the experience was violating.
You're allowed to, you just won't get validated.
Because we were in a situationship, we were not exclusive.
Right, that's how language changes culture. But you don't have to go along with it. You can just use your own language. Not that kind. I mean, you can say something like, hey, I don't know who you are or what you're planning, so we need to talk about what you need to do before we get to the good part. It used to be buying one of these, but I don't think anyone does that anymore.
So in that regard, there's no way to hold him accountable when he lies, when he's not telling you about the number of partners that he has, when he sleeps with you for as long as he wants and then throws the relationship away. I specifically use the word relationship to avoid degrading myself and my experience.
It's not the words degrading your experience, it's your choices, particularly choosing the wrong guy over and over.
Most recently, I was in a casual relationship with a guy, found out that I was in a situationship. He was dishonest about the numbers of partners he was having, which to me feels like a direct threat to like my safety. And I remember I was telling my friend about this. All of a sudden I found out he was talking to all these other women. She immediately cut me off and said, "But did you guys discuss that?" I don't know why I would ever have to discuss or explain to somebody.
I don't know why I would have to communicate and make friends and socialize with the person I'm fucking. That is what Becky Bunny just said. What's her name? Trashy Panda, Trashinista. I don't know why I would bond and discuss the relationship with someone who's putting their dick in her. Yeah, no diddy. Her getting done in. She's just letting him in, and she ain't asking, bro, what the goal of the relationship is. Why should she have to do that? Is what she said. What sense does that make? What sense does that make?
Telling my friend about this, all of a sudden I found out he was talking to all these other women. She immediately cut me off and said, "But did you guys discuss that?"
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, her friends called her a dumbass to her face and she didn't listen.
know why I would ever have to discuss or explain to somebody why it's unsafe for you to, number one, not be honest about the numbers of partners that you're having, and number two, not lie.
Because if you don't do that, they lie. Your friend was trying not to call you an idiot. She was saying, "I know this guy, he sleeps around, you
Stupid.
should have checked." Her video just goes on and on like this. Now, before I get to my
5 secret tricks to dodge situationships that they don't want you to know, whoever they is,
I need to explain that they don't work unless you grow up, to at least here, and if you want to live in the modern world, at least here. For those who don't know, these are levels of psychological.
Okay, so you guys remember levels when we talked about this with the privilege episode? So here we are with the thinking levels. He's referring back to it again. Let's rewind just a tad.
Don't do that, they lie. Your friend was trying not to call you an idiot. She was saying, "I know this guy, he sleeps around, you should have checked." Her video just goes on and on like this. Now, before I get to my
5 secret tricks to dodge situationships that they don't want you to know, whoever they is,
I need to explain that they don't
Here we
work
go.
unless you grow up, to at least here, and if you want to live in the modern world, at least here. For those who don't know, these are levels of psychological development, and I'll show you how they work in a minute. I also want to explain that this girl is not stupid. She spoke off the top of her head for 10 minutes about how changes in language change culture over time and how that affects her. That's not a low IQ thing to do. It's just that a part of her thinks she's still in kindergarten. I have a whole video on levels of development, you should watch it. But
Shout out.
basically, the more complex the world gets around you, the more you have to grow up in order to deal with it. And we are in the middle of a maturity crisis. And what this girl is saying might be as low as this level. What she said was, "I'm doing the right thing, so the men I date should do the right thing." And that's
Wrong.
magical thinking, like a rain dance. If I do the dance right, the rain will fall. If I throw a virgin in a volcano, it won't be mad at me and blow up. If I'm nice to men, they'll be nice back. Life just doesn't work that way.
Wrong.
There was a time when hanging out together before you were married was unspeakable. You had to hide it or they'd put a letter on your chest and send you into the woods. They didn't do that for nothing. They just knew what happened when you didn't have rules. And that's what's happening to you now. Our culture is pretty far gone from those days, and we can't fix the whole thing overnight. But there is something you can do for yourself. You can get your hands on the situationship evasion chart, go to my link tree, and you
Go
can
to this
remember
link tree.
these 5 secret tricks to dodge situationships. Number 1, make sure you know who you're dating. Dating wasn't designed when we had cheap air travel and the internet. If you're not careful, you could be dating anyone from anywhere who believes anything. The more you know about someone, the less they can keep secrets. The safest person to date is someone who your family has known for a long time and he's from the same place as you. The least safe person to date is a random guy from the internet. Number 2, choose from the guys who like you, not from the guys you like. I started making videos with this chart of women all going after the same few men.
Yep.
You have to understand that you're probably not an exception to this. You are
Right.
probably here,
Right.
and you are probably going after the same
My girl's higher on the scale.
guys that all women are going after. That's why they don't pick one, because they can have 5. So if you start with the men who will put in effort and want to commit to you, and pick your favorite one, you have way better chances of forming a stable relationship than if you pick the men you like the most and try to make them commit. They don't have to do that because you're not the only one who likes them. A lot of women get confused about this because there are so many things that a man can do to get you to like us more, but we just don't work like that. We kind of either like you or we don't. It is easy for you to move down this scale and hard for you to move up. Number 3. Don't get attached to anyone until you agree on what you want. If you don't at least talk about it first, not only will it probably go somewhere bad, but you don't even get to be mad about it. No one can read your mind. Number 4, words are not enough. Get him to invest. Talk is cheap. Anyone can say anything. Watch this. Hey, Trashinista, if you're out there listening, I just think you're great, and I think you and me should be together. See, I didn't mean that, and it cost me nothing.
Why did he do that? Why did he do that to her like that, though? Oh, shit. That was funny. Hold on, let me play that back.
If you're out there listening, I just think you're great, and I think you and me should be together. See, I didn't mean that, and it cost me nothing. That's why you need investment. That's when you do something for someone that...
And see, in today's world, he would have got the draws just by doing that.
...proves your commitment instead of just saying it. We used to do this with a wedding ring because very few guys can afford to buy one for every girl on the block or Tinder. But I guess marriage is over, so you're gonna...
Hold on, bro, just threw Tinder out there. He said you can't buy one for every girl on Tinder.
Guys can afford to buy one for every girl on the block or Tinder. But I guess marriage is over, so you're gonna have to get creative. A good first step is making the relationship as public as possible so everyone knows you're together. If he's trying to hide you from people, that's a bad sign. If everyone knows you're together, he has to be careful or it will damage his reputation and lower his value.
Absolutely.
Number 5.
You gotta claim what's yours.
Say what you are thinking. You
soon
cannot have silent feelings and get mad at us because we don't know what they are. Somebody once got upset at me because I wasn't helping with housework at her apartment, but a few years before that, somebody got upset at me for trying to help with housework. She wanted to be appreciated for doing it for me. Yep. We don't always know what you're mad about because you all get mad about different things. So if you do manage to get here, you keep it going by having the talk every time you need to. This is what I need, this is how I feel. And every time you start thinking something like, he should know me by now, he must be cheating, just remember this box and where it gets you. So that's it. If you do these 5 things, you can dramatically reduce your chances of ending up in a situationship, which is really just a cute word for pretending that you're not wasting your time. Use the map to help. A couple final notes. A lot of people watch my content and they say not all women are like that, and that's true, but it doesn't matter. Not all cars get in accidents, but we still wear seatbelts. And I promise you, there are plenty of adult
seatbelt for a relationship. Get that prenup. Get that prenup.
Women out there who think like this. They start relationships casually, they get feelings, they ask for commitment, they usually don't get it, they get their feelings hurt, and then they go on TikTok and they say man bad, when really, man didn't promise you anything. And in case you missed it, only about 30% of people born in the 90s are married, and that was 90% 80 years ago. If you still can't see the connection, I don't know what to tell you. A lot of women tell me that even if they do these things, most guys will just go find someone who doesn't. And I understand that, but on the other hand, so what? What are you missing out on? Being dehumanized by cruelty? Your choices are make him prove it and most of them run away, or don't make him prove it and probably end up here. You've got to grow up. A lot of men resist commitment because they have plenty of opportunities to do this. They will put you here or here without telling you, and that's why you have to filter them out, and the ones that you don't like. Hopefully none of you are doing this. Some of you might have to settle or end up here. If you don't want to filter these guys out because you should be able to trust them, which is just the dumbest thing that I've ever... Yeah, it would be great if we could trust everyone, and if the roads were made of licorice, then no one would be hungry. That'd be awesome. That would be great, but it's not reality.
It's
anyway,
not reality.
If you don't want to filter these guys out, then they're gonna keep lying because that's what they do, and you're gonna keep ending up here and here. And if you want to do that, that's your choice. But just stop saying that you're powerless. This is all the power that you'll ever need. Read it. And this.
There it is. Linktree /home app. Let me get that for y'all. Bro stays cooking, y'all. Bro stays cooking. Shout out to Home app. Hit up the Home app Linktree. He also has a book. V-Ben Israel, if you are out there, brother, and you have the link handy for the book, it is on Amazon. Go, feel free to post that in the chat. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you as well for being a brother that is staying literate and reading and sharing knowledge with brothers in the form of books for us to read. That's right. Trin and Messi, V-Ben Israel is one of those men that Joy was talking about. Who did I see sneak in here? Was that you, Chill Out Jay? How you doing, sis? It's good to see you this evening. I hope you are feeling better. Hope you and the fam are feeling better. Having the cooties is never fun. So shout out to you for being here. And folks, that's all I got for tonight. That is it. We want to do a prelude. We wanted to start off with a little bit of a perspective into dating and what's going on out here. The mess that the dating world is leaving us, and your boy Culture isn't going to look at it from too negative of a place, but a more of a let's fix it, y'all. Let's fix this shit. Let's get these ladies wifed up, gents. Ladies, let's fall in your natural feminine. Stop with this masculine bullshit. Let's fix this shit, y'all. Let's fix it. To my homie Killer Swag and my friend 87. I think the cursor count is a little bit lower this episode. So shout out to me. Shout out to me. Trin's out here saying, F no. We not wifing these ladies up. We ain't doing it. Tell the gang, gang, gang. That's us, bro. That's us. That's us. Big up, big up, big up. Yeah, and it's good to see you tonight, Jay. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, solution-based. On target. That's right, y'all. We got to do some solution-based streaming out here. Can't just be poking fun at people. There's a little bit of that to be done because we're human and it's fun. But we got to have some solutions. We can't just be yelling and screaming and punching clouds that I do so well over here on Culture Invasion. So I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight. Y'all definitely showed out on the cash apps, y'all. Let me just, you know what? Let's just throw this up here again for y'all.
More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill. More money, yeah. More dollar bill.
Y'all are crazy in the chat. I got the best chat on YouTube in my chat. I got Besties. I got FDNHT. I got Powwow. I got the Sweet Melody Media crew. I got Killer Swag. I got people that came over to Team C.I.P. and just been here supporting me from day one. Y'all are the day one supporters. We are under 1,000 subs, but we are going for the stars this year. I really appreciate y'all so much this evening. Thank you for sticking it out with me. Look for Black Home Math. That's where we're going with this. We're going to talk about some things that popped off last year that were absolutely ignorant in the dating sphere. And we're going to have some fun with it. We might spin up a panel, have a little bit of a discussion. Those are always interesting. Maybe. But in the meantime, y'all, I want to wish y'all a good evening, wherever you may be. Team Replay, hit the like, subscribe, share this out with your friends. Everybody have a wonderful night. We're gonna end. Let's see here. I'm gonna leave y'all with the R&B special intro again. Enjoy the music, folks, and have a wonderful evening.
I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship. I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship.
Why y'all be thinking with y'all dicks?
Empty your clip. 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 I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship. I be beating it. I be beating it. These hoes can't get to you if you already beat your ship.
Why y'all be thinking with y'all dicks?
My shit.
Empty your clip.
Baby, if I'm tired, he can get it. After work, he can get it. After dinner, he can get it. In the morning, he can get it. Before the gym, he can get it. That's my man, so he can get it. Before church, he can get it. After church, he can get it. Thank you, Lord, he can get it. If I'm tired, he can get it. After work, he can get it. After dinner, he can get it. He can get it. He can get it. In the morning, he can get it. Before the gym, he can get it. That's my man, that's my man, that's my man, he can get it. Before church, he can get it. Thank you, Lord, he can get it. In the shower, he can get it. In the shower, he can get it. Date night, he can get it. Date night too, he can get it. When I'm irritated, he can get it.
Wait, this my
He
shit.
can get it. Hell yeah. 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 Cause if he can get it, that means I'm getting it. If I'm tired, he can get it. After work, he can get it. After dinner, he can get it. He can get it. He can get it. In the morning, he can get it. Before the gym, he can get it. That's my man, that's my man, that's my man, he can get it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Y'all have a good night. Big up yourselves. Really appreciate y'all.
Things which demand public attention. How do you feel about the controversy?
Basically, the fan behaves the same on Joe's suit. When I first turned the power on, or just prior to that, he's drawing 0.6 amps. It goes off scale high for a few seconds, falls back down to about...
The CBS Evening News with Walter Campbell.
Well, first I jumped to 9.
It was a provoking challenge, and nowhere did the challenge provoke more unending